So 45 years in the trades. What now? Do I sit in a boat in the middle of the lake with a can of worms, hoping to catch something? Do I spend my day on the golf course with my buddies, talking about the good old days? Do I sit home watching Wheel of Fortune and The Price is Right, or down in my basement painting model railroads? Or do I start a YouTube channel and talk about everything that I could think of that has happened, and all the wisdom and all the knowledge and all the experience and all the education that I've gained in 45 years of being on the job, and all the interactions I've had with people and everything, and put it on a channel and share, so that maybe somebody younger than I am can pick up any bit of the information and that would be useful to them. So that's where I thought about starting this channel. And I know this video might be a little jumping around, but if you'll stay with me, I'll be glad to explain what I intend to achieve moving forward. Welcome. This is my very first video. My name is William Norrid, and I've been in construction forever, it seems like. And the focus of this channel at first was to talk about construction, but the more I started compiling a list of topics and a list of things that I could discuss and put out there, I started realizing that it applies more to just people in the construction field or in that element of work. So a lot of the things that I'll be discussing will apply to anybody. It doesn't matter what type of job that you have or anything that you're thinking about going into. So hopefully you'll get something to benefit you with what I have to put forward and what I have to offer. So I like this to be a collaborative effort, because when I build a building, I don't build a building by myself. If I take on a project is with a team of people. We assemble and get something together, get a direction, and get it built. And that's the approach I want to take with this channel, is to make it to where it's not just me creating content and offering and sliding it across the table for you to ingest or take whatever. Hey, that was nice, that was a great video, or whatever. I want this to be interactive, and I also want it to be collaborative in the way that you can send me comments, send me messages to, hey, talk about this is what I'm interested in. So I'm trying to make it to where we build this together so that you are more part of it and not just me presenting the next topic. So if I've got a list, I went down and started writing. At first I thought, what would I talk about? Well, when I started writing a list, every day the list grew and grew, and then everything could be branched off on different subjects. And then it became such that I had so much to talk about that now I'm getting ready to start a channel, and what do I do first? What do I talk about first? So if I talk about this, these people might be wanting to know about this over here. So what I think I'm going to do is create videos for different things to throw out there after this one particular video. And so to give you an idea of all the areas that I want to cover, I want to talk to people that have never even considered going into construction or the trades. They might be able to listen to this and go, I always had a different idea of what it was like to be in the trades and go into that type of work, but kind of convinced me to look at it a little bit more. So send a link to this to someone that you might think might be useful to them. Might be a person in high school that's thinking about, yeah, I know guys that are in construction and I'd like to go that direction, and not sure exactly what to do first. Do they just take the first job that comes along, or can it be a little bit more systematic approach to that? I want to talk to someone that is in construction, that just started out, they're young, or maybe not so young, you could start out any time. But I want to talk to the people that have just started out in the trades and not sure exactly where they are, and trying to help them with their footing and to help get a little bit more confidence moving forward so that, excuse me, a little bit more confidence in what they're doing and what the trades are all about, because it's a lot bigger than you think. So it's more than just what you see put out there by whatever media and whatever little stock photo, stock little video that's shown on YouTube. So it's pretty big. So, and then I want to talk to people that are, say, at the journeyman level and are moving up and want to know what direction, guys that are foreman and not quite sure about exactly what they're doing, how to organize, how to make things work better, guys that are even in higher positions. I want to talk to superintendents. I want to talk to project managers, project engineers. I want to talk to owners, architects, everything. Because what happens is people get in their corners and they don't know what the other person's thinking, what their approach is. So if we get a collaborative effort, if I have architects and engineers and project managers and inspectors and city officials and young people and new different trades and everything all compiled on this site right here, that's where we can make it work, because there's a lot of communication that doesn't exist on the project. People in the office don't communicate well with people in the field. People in the field may not communicate well with the vendors, may not communicate well with delivery, may not communicate well with other subcontractors. And so I think the biggest thing for me to focus on is communication, but I don't want to spend all of our time on there. I want to talk about how to get into the trades, what to do when you're in the trades, how to act on the job, how to present yourself, how to get the promotions, how to promote yourself, how you are viewed on the job site, and what the boss thinks about you. I'll talk to the bosses and what your men think about you. I'll talk about leadership. I'll cover everything I could think of in this channel. And I'll talk about the money, because there's a lot of money to be made out there. And there are people right now, I'm telling you, there are people right now that are working harder at non-construction jobs than people in the construction field. I've seen them. I've seen them back of house working at food service. I've seen them working in retail. I've seen people working all different types of jobs that are not construction related, that are actually working harder than people on the job sites. The only difference is they're making about a third of what you could be making, with benefits, with stuff to last you, retirement, everything. So I want to get into all of that. I'm going to bring receipts. I'm going to show contracts and pay scales and everything. And so once I get this channel up and running, it's completely in its infancy. I bought a couple of lights. I had a camera that started acting up on me, so now I'm back with my phone. And so here's my phone on a tripod with a couple lights next to me to get my complexion looking good. And I painted the background behind me, but I intend to build an entire studio in this room that I have. And I want to eventually have podcasts where I get people that are actual stars in their field, actual veterans and stars that know what they're talking about, the experts in their field, and we're going to discuss. So I'm going to have some podcasts going, so that if you want to learn how to be what being an elevator mechanic is all about, I'm going to bring in elevator mechanics, and we're going to talk elevators, and we're going to exhaust the subject. If it takes them 3 hours, I'll hold them hostage. I'll block the door before we get all the information you could think of. So if you want to know about elevator mechanics, thought about being an electrician, I'm going to bring in electricians. I'm going to bring in project managers. I'm bringing in architects, owners. I have all kinds of resources around here. I also have job sites all over. I live downtown. I have job sites all over this place. So we're going to be doing field trips. So I'll take the camera out and we'll go park it at a job site, and I'll point exactly what is happening out there, and I will narrate and discuss everything that's happening. So instead of when you drive by and you see guys working out there, and when you see the crews working out there, and you wonder what they're doing, just like when the joke about 5 guys standing around a hole, 1 guy digging. I'll explain all of that because there is an explanation for that. And so when you see a high-rise going up, you're looking at a building going up. I will explain everything that's happening on that project. And what's nice is there's a project right down the street from me that just is getting ready it'll get ready for the demolition process. They've started moving people out of, it's a strip mall, and I think it's supposed to be unless they've changed it, but it's supposed to be a high-rise condominium project, fancy, with all retail and everything down below, the fancy floors and stuff like that. So it's a really cool project that's coming up, if it's the same one they were planning on building. So I'll get the stats on that. And what's nice, I'll get access to that project, and I'll walk you out there before they even put the fences up, and I'll show you what's going on before even the plants get pulled up and they start demoing the building. So we will take several field trips, and if you stay with this channel, you'll get to see that building from start to finish. And so it's probably at least a 3-year project, so that'll keep you. And so anyway, so I have that. And it just motivates me to think about how much, when I sit down and just really think about how much there is to know. And the reason I think the main reason I wanted to make this channel is because at some point I got on YouTube and started looking up construction, looking up the trades and everything, and you get bits and pieces from all around, but I haven't found a channel that brings it all together and explains everything, explains the industry, why those earth moving equipment's out, why are they out there doing that, why is this happening, why, everybody likes to look and watch construction happening, but it's really cool when you know why and what's going on at each time and each point. So then it's really cool. So then it's really interesting. There is an absolute ton of information. This project I'm talking about down the street, it has probably been in the works. There's project management and architects and estimators and all these got engineers and the city planners and everything else. They've been working on that project. Like I said, we're getting ready to break ground on that project. But that project has probably been in the works for, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. At least 3. So when I do contact these people over there, I'll get the stats on that and I'll share them. I'll tell you, they've been talking about that building and been planning the design, everything, all the permitting, all the specifications that have to go into that building, years before you go out there and create any kind of dust. So this stuff just doesn't happen overnight. And so that's what I'll walk you through. So hopefully when you go into Seattle or you go into San Francisco or any other city and you see these buildings go up, you'll get a better understanding. And it's kind of like, it's funny because I took music appreciation in college, one of the first classes you take, and it's like, what am I taking this class for? But when they started going through the symphony and everything that's involved in the symphony and what each person does and I like the symphony now. I go to the symphony. I've been there on several occasions. I love it because when you start realizing all the ins and outs about something like that, it makes it much more interesting. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking with this channel. I'm taking it on as just like a construction project, and I've got a schedule to keep. You could already hear kind of the motivation in I want to hurry up and get this video done so I can start making the next series. And so, like I said, you could kind of see the urgency I already have because I've now created this channel as my next venture, my next thing to take on. So nothing casual about it. I've got to get with it. But like I told you, I have plain background, plain everything. I intend to grow and build this. So help me with that. And Once I get the traction here, I'll get us a better camera, and we'll have a little bit more talking there, and I'll get the computer setups to where eventually if you want to talk to me one-on-one, we could do that. I'll send you the links for that. But I think it's going to be fun. I have a lot of fun. I put a lot of time and effort. I'm very serious about what I do when I work on the job, but we have the one thing about those projects is you make them fun. Yes, they're dangerous. Yes, there's a ton of responsibility, extremely stressful at points, but for some reason, you make it fun. It's like a football game. It's stressful. There's things that happen. People get injured. Plays change. Stuff happens that makes things change, but why are you there at the stadium watching that game? You're stressed, then you're happy. You go through the whole range of emotions. So that I've always said that about construction. A lot of times it's similar to a football game. You will go to work and things will be great. The plays are happening. You're running down the field. You're scoring right and left. And the next thing you get a call, your quarterback or running back got hurt. Uh-oh. Now what? Now we got to think. So think on those terms. But anyway, like I said, I want this to be a resource center. I want it to be interactive. I want to hear from you. And just like any project that we set out to do, if you work with me on this, then I'm going to give you something to do right now. And that's subscribe to this channel. And subscribe and like it and do all the other stuff that you're supposed to do on the channel. Send me a comment. What I'd like to do is if you are in the trades, put a comment down below and tell me what trade you're in, how long you've been, tell me a little bit about yourself. You don't have to make a comment and tell me how great I am or how oh yeah, this is great, good job. No, I want to hear from you, and you tell me what trade you're in, what trade you're thinking about going in, where you're from, if you're part of a union, what local, give me a union local number, be proud of that. Be proud of what you do, because we're going to build a channel, like I said, that's focused on the information, experience, everything. But another big item of this channel I want to focus on heavily is your professionalism and being able to take the trades and bring them up to a little bit higher level in view of the public, which I think has suffered over the years. I think it's got a certain stigma, certain stereotype that if you're in the trades, you're somewhat less than, and that's bothered me over the years. So I plan on doing my part of taking all those years of experience, and anyone and everyone that wants to listen to me can be part of this channel and elevate and realize every day you go to work, you've gotten that much better. And then if you think about it, in a few years' time, you're at a certain level and you're making plenty of money, and the industry as a whole is making more money. Because sometimes it embarrasses me thinking about how much we're asking for on one hand and how we appear and how we conduct ourselves on the project on the other hand. So we're asking for high wages, and what are we putting on the table? What are we sliding across the table to get those high wages? And so I want to focus on stuff like that. I want to focus on when you're out on the job site, what do you see? So that's going to be some of the stuff. What do you see? And I'm going to tell you what the boss sees. And so that way, when you go back to work the next day, you can start comparing that. What you see versus what the boss sees. How you think about certain things and what others think about that same thing. What other views. And so that way, if you go, oh, I didn't realize that they thought that way about this, so maybe I could close that gap and get more aligned with the industry, with the group, with the team, with your bosses, everything. You start aligning better, and it makes it easier for you. So anyway, I want to just have it to where we learn from each other. I have a lot to learn, believe it or not. Been doing this for years, and I haven't scratched the surface. I built high-rise, I built hospitals, I built big schools, huge solar projects. I've done projects with pharmaceutical manufacturing, life science, data center, you name it. I've done all those kind of projects before, little bit of residential, civil, underground, all that type of stuff. And I could sit in a room with other people on the other side of the table that go, really? Well, oh, that's cool. I built dams and I built bridges. And the other one says, okay, well, I built offshore oil rigs. Well, I've never done that. Another guy, I built an aircraft carrier. How about that? Okay. So you see what I'm saying? When you're talking trades and you're talking, most people, everything I see, it just bothers me. Everything I see, I bring up, and it's an electrician wiring up an electrical box on a new house project or something. Or every time you bring up a plumber, they mention a plumber and a toilet and everything. And that kind of thing just bothers me because it just keeps the stereotype. I know plumbers that have been in plumbing for years and never had to unclog a toilet unless it's at home for their family. Never touched anything like that. Don't own a plunger. And yet, when you say plumber, oh, you're going to be a plumber, huh? You're going to be an electrician, huh? Oh, can you hang my ceiling fans? Well, I got electricians that have never hung a ceiling fan for anybody. I know electricians that have never gone into a residential place and spent all day wiring up boxes and outlets. They're on a helicopter, or they're in some power station somewhere, some data center or underground or whatever. So they know how to do that, but that's not, they don't play into the stereotypical what the world puts out, what everyone that's not in construction puts out as being an electrician. Let's put it that way. The people that are ignorant of the industry put those stock photos and the stock videos up there of an electrician or a plumber. Every plumber does not have his head between the vanity and the toilet or laying underneath the sink. Very seldom have seen, in all my 45 years on the project, trying to think of how many plumbers, except when you actually have cabinets or whatever that have sinks under them. But for the most part, I don't see many legs sticking out from underneath sinks and unclogging toilets. So we'll touch on that. So if that's piqued your interest right there, subscribe. If you got a friend, send this link to them. We need to build this channel, and we need to build it fast, because like I said, you don't want to be left behind on all the information that's going to be thrown out there. And I'll make these other videos probably a little shorter and tight so that you could get the information and run. And then I'll make some long form videos if it's something that needs to be discussed a little bit more than that. But for the most part, I want to make it tight. I want to make it precise and give you things that what I'm looking for is to hand you something. When you watch a video, I want you to be able to go to work the next day. If it's in that series of videos of what to expect on the job or how to operate on the job, I want you to be able to go to work that next day and implement that, just as if I showed you a better way of doing something or how to do something. Here, let me show you how to weld that. Let me show you how to build that if you were being taught. So there's a lot of things you could learn that kind of open your eyes a little bit to see, oh, I see what's going on out here, and I see why this is happening. And so what that does is it brings you from here to here. And every day, if you go to work and you are able to improve one thing, so think about that at the end of the year. If you're able to improve one thing, how much farther along you'll be than other people around you that just go to work and are pointed and told what to do. And so anyway, but that's what I'm looking at for that. So send this channel, this link to Betty in accounting. Send it to some kid you know that is still sitting on the couch playing games and doesn't know quite what to do. Send this link to somebody that's doing another kind of work that would like to improve or not necessarily improve, but just switch over and improve their income and have a little bit more stability. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that are in certain types of work, and we'll talk about that. Like, I don't want this video to go on for 4 days, but there's a lot to talk about that people can switch from here to here and be on the job the next day, no training needed, and have a future to look forward to that's bright. And there's nothing but work out there for the people that are willing to work. If you're willing to show up with clear eyes, if you got a few hours of sleep and you show up on time with an attitude of, hey, I want to learn, I want to know what to do, tell me what to do, and let me get going. And then as you move up, hey, you get some responsibility thrown at you, and you just work your way that way. And if you took that, like I said, I'm going to make a whole nother video on how to approach your work, as far as if you took that along with continuing your education as you're working on the job. And so anyway, a lot to talk about. You could tell probably from this video that I wish I could just sit in my chair and just turn this thing on and talk for 2 or 3 days, and I probably wouldn't even begin to start. So work with me, send this video to as many people. If you are in construction right now, scroll down your phone and start sending this link to everyone. Let's build this together. You will not find what I'm going to offer on any channel or any information. You're not going to find it, because you're going to find a lot of people that want to talk about someone that getting into the trades or how to do it back and forth, but you won't find everything about the industry as a whole. I know how to talk about it. I've been there. I've been all around on all sides of the table, and I've grown up in this industry. I've been in the office. I've been out in the field. I've worked for, so I'll go over my credentials later on. Maybe I'll list them out or something like that, but I've been doing this a long time and I've got a lot to offer. So anyway, I can't stress enough. Subscribe. Get with me to build this channel, please. We need to build it together. I can't do it by myself. And I need you to send this link to as many people. Say, listen to this guy for 15 minutes and subscribe. Let's get it going. Because I'm using this channel also. I'm not putting a bunch of my other money. I'm going to make it just focused on this channel here. I'm going to build this. I'm going to make this channel as a business work itself. So I've actually invested my money already. I'll continue to do so, but that's where I need the help. I want the channel to build so that I could call people in and have resources to go on longer field trips and have access to go to things like that. So that's another thing I'm looking for. And so if you'd like to help me out on any of that, if you've got connections, if you've got someone that you could say, hey, this person will get with you and help you do some better editing. I'm not even probably going to edit any of this video right now. Like I said, I'm just putting it out here, and this is what you get. This is not Mr. Practice Hollywood or anything like that. It's just someone that's used to getting up in the morning, charting a course on the project, getting with a team. What are we doing today? Everybody's going to be safe. Everybody is focused. They're going to get their work done, and we're going to build this building. And when we're done with this one, we're going to squirt Windex on the last door handle as we back out of the lobby. We're going to hand the keys, and we're going to go start another one. And so that's where, like I said, we'll work together. If you want to be part of this, let me know. In any capacity you could help, financially, or if you got skills or any input or whatever like that, let me know. I'm open for anything. I just know that this type of material is needed, and it's needed bad. Because every day that I would go to work and start talking to somebody, you could just tell that no one tells them this kind of stuff. They just tell them to go to work and get their work done and then go home. And how do you know the big picture of everything? Or how do you know what to talk about or what questions to ask? That's what this channel is going to be for. It's going to be an immense library of information. I want to drag it all into one channel, and I will be getting a hold of, like I said, I will be getting a hold of anyone and everyone I could think in this industry. Project managers, suppliers, manufacturers, anyone. we're all going to talk, and we're all going to land on this channel, and you're going to be part of it, and you're going to tell everyone. So when you subscribe and you see the video, I got 2 subscribers, 1, 2, 3 subscribers, take a screenshot of that and say, I'm one of those first ones that started. I'm one of those first ones that got William off the ground. It's like a t-shirt. Green Day was a little garage junk band in my neighborhood, and they're huge now. And had I gone to see them, been interested in them, why would I go see those guys? They started. A lot of other bands I could talk about. There were just there's bands now that are big bands that played at my high school at lunchtime. And so be part of that. I wish I were more part of some of this where I could say at least I have some pictures or whatever. I'd be interested. Here I am, be part of it. Click on there and you'll see 1 or 2 subscribers. Be some of those first guys, and when I start going, you'll be responsible for a lot more of those subscribers. So let's make this happen. All right? Thanks. See you on the next one.